Record. All right, it looks like folks are rolling in here. There we go. We'll give it just a few seconds. There we go. Everybody's coming in now.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Stephen Tweed with Jill Scott and Kevin Rose to share with you some strategies and insights around recruiting, selection, and onboarding of caregivers in home care. And today we're going to be looking at the Vikus system for automating your recruiting, interviewing, selection, and onboarding. We've been working very closely with this company, Vikus, over the last couple of months as we have learned about their system. Vikus has been serving the senior care industry for over 10 years now with many, many organizations in skilled nursing, assisted living, and independent living, and now moving into the home care space. And we're very delighted to have them here. So I'd like to introduce to you Kevin Rose, who is the Vice President of Sales for Vikus. And Kevin's going to walk us through the big picture of how this system works, and then we're going to drill down and look more closely at the platform itself. Kevin's coming to us live and in person from Central Florida. So welcome, Kevin. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, everyone. No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Everyone, thank you for your time and signing up and attending today. It's a pleasure to meet with you. I guess first and foremost, Vikus has been in business since 1999, and we've served the senior living market exclusively since 2008, as Stephen had mentioned. And we have over 3,000 clients now in 48 states. So we really found the sweet spot, and obviously with the turnover issues and so on in this industry, and really finding the applicants, it's something that I think it's a great story and of interest, and we'll walk through this. I guess I want to point out that this is an overview, and if this catches your interest or you'd like to learn more, we're more than happy to schedule a demonstration for your specific organization at your convenience, and that way we can answer specific questions and show you how we would set up and customize the Vikus platform specifically for your organization. So keep that in mind. Stephen and Jill have all my contact information, and more than happy to answer questions. Certainly during this webinar, there's a chat feature there, so don't hesitate to raise your hand, ask a question, and Stephen will ask them for you. And again, happy to schedule a demonstration at your convenience.
So as we go through today, if you have a question, if you hover your pointer over the screen, you will see at the bottom of the screen a question and answer box and also a chat box. But let's go ahead and use the Q&A box. Just type in your questions at any time, and they will pop up on our screen, and we'll interrupt Kevin at the appropriate moment and jump in with your questions. So anytime throughout the course of our session, jump in with your questions. All right, Kevin, let's look at the big picture.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, Vikus is an end-to-end hiring solution. So it includes recruiting, selection, and onboarding, again, for senior living organizations. Vikus has found really that service, culture, and care all begin with hiring the right people. There are three basic components to the Vikus platform, that being recruiting and applicant tracking, which a lot of people refer to as the ATS, applicant tracking system. The second component is the selection of your applicants, or ranking. And we do that through, well, you can customize it yourself, but we also use two different general assessments, and more on those later, and I'll specify them. And then finally, we upload all the forms you use for your onboarding, so that your W-4, the I-9, policies and procedures, employee handbook, anything that you need that employee to complete prior to starting day one, they'll do online prior to starting that day. So when they show up, you can do the things with them that you need to do face-to-face, rather than have them sit there for an hour or two completing paperwork, and save you a ton of time and get that employee productive for you. I include this screen just to remind myself to point out that Vikus is mobile optimized. We're not mobile compatible or mobile friendly. We're mobile optimized, meaning that our and your console looks the same on your phone as it does on a tablet, as it does on a desktop. And, with today's millennials, it's very important not to miss out on that market space. I know that surveys have shown that approaching 3/4 or 75% of millennials now apply for jobs on their phone or a tablet. Really, Vikus includes all of these, and we'll take a look on a real site and a live site. In fact, I've selected one of Stephen's clients that has come on board with us in the last few weeks, and they've been up and running now just over a month, I think, so we can take a look at them, and we'll walk through that. But what Vikus includes is your sourcing, all the job boards that we, with 3 clicks, post your postings to, your job openings. We build and brand and host your career page. Again, ranking your applicants, and we do this through the assessments and any other methods that you would like us to set up in your platform. Based on how the applicant responds to the assessments, we also help you structure your interview guide. So again, you have a consistent, measurable process throughout your entire organization that everyone uses. And again, the onboarding, we upload all the forms that you use for your onboarding. And once the conditional job offer is made to the applicant and they accept all that information, they are sent an email from you, and they click on the link and complete that information. So when they show up day one, their paperwork is done. And then finally, analytics, all the reporting, compliance, analytics, and so on. So I mentioned, and we'll do this, but 3 clicks, you can be posting your jobs and get them to all the various job boards. In addition, all the social media sites, so Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and you can email your jobs anywhere as well.
Kevin, we do have a question.
Yeah, please.
On our screen already. Carrie asked, what job boards do you post to? And I know you're right on that slide right now, so you may want to reiterate that some of the free job boards that you're linked to, and also the paid job boards that you can connect with.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at this on the actual live site, but certainly Indeed, Simply Hired, Glassdoor, US Jobs, Juju, as well as, again, any of the social sites that you want to share with. You can push the posting out anywhere you'd like. So again, if, let's say, for example, you have an account with Indeed for some sponsored postings, or Career Builder, or Monster, or ZipRecruiter, you can continue to use that. But what we're all going to also help you with in your analytics and reporting is the breakdown, and show you if you're getting your bang for your buck from those sites. So it's going to show you where your applicants are coming from, and not only your applicants, but where your offers are coming from and where your hires are coming from. Great.
Thanks, Kevin.
You bet. As I mentioned, we build, brand, and host your career page. So it's seamless. It looks just like the rest of your website, and that's where we have all the jobs. And then when someone clicks to apply for the job, they're seamlessly directed back to the career page, your application that we customized for you. And we'll take a look at that on screen. As I mentioned, and again, when you start to get hundreds of applicants for your individual postings, like right now, depending on how you're doing things, you may have to touch each applicant that comes in. You may have to review the application. You may have to look at the resume, etc. But with our platform, based on how they did on the assessments, it will rank the applicants. So you can just start with the #1 ranked applicant and then work your way down. As you'll see with, one of Stephen's clients that's already on board with us, I think there's hundreds of applicants. Well, you don't want to have to mess and touch each one, especially if they didn't take the time to complete either of the assessments or even complete the application form. So you start with the most qualified and then work your way down. And we really have 2 basic groups of assessment. One is the Hartman, and the Hartman Value Profile helps you identify judgment and decision-making ability. And then next is what we call the Job Interest Survey Tool, or internally we call it the GIST, the job assessment. Now, because we only do senior living, we have over 120 job interest survey tools or job assessments. So, you'll have a specific one, say, for home care aide, non-medical. And it's a combination of skills, and personality and temperament. And it will rank. It's not a yes or no, but it does show on a bell curve how that applicant responded and where they fit into all other applicants, as well as on the Hartman, they're color-coded. So purple is exceed, green is good, yellow is moderate, and red is a poor. And again, it will rank those applicants. And then, as I mentioned, based on how that applicant completed the assessments, it will help you structure an interview guide. So again, it'll just give your recruiters a consistent, measurable piece to help build and structure your interview guide. And as you'll see, and we'll walk through this, you can have your own questions that you add to this as part of a template and so on. So I mentioned we also upload all your onboarding forms so that when that employee shows up for day one, all the paperwork is completed, and you can reach out to them. Hey, say, hey, you know, you're starting in a week. You still have to do some of your onboarding and make sure that that's all completed. It saves a ton of time and, importantly, money. And we'll walk through that on screen. And then again, full reporting, very robust reporting, full analytics and compliance tracking. And as I mentioned, so you can see, like even under the analytics here, where your applicants are coming from, where your hires are coming from, where the offers are coming from, and so on. That's the conclusion of the PowerPoint section of this meeting. I didn't want to PowerPoint you to death, but before I go to the actual live platform, any questions on this?
You're muted, Stephen.
Take it.
My phone was ringing in the background. If you have a question, go ahead and type it into the question and answer box at the bottom of your screen. Just hover your pointer over the screen and that Q&A box will pop up there, and you can click on it and type in your questions. Kevin, while they're thinking about questions, the question came up earlier from Carrie about job boards. And we know that you really are well connected with all of the major job boards. But talk to us just a little bit about the fact that other recruiting sources, whether it be employee referral programs or networking in the community, can also then be connected back to your own website career page and brought into the Vikus system.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that, Stephen, but it's very easy. One click to share your posting, you know, email it with any of the social media sites, anywhere you want to send it, and we'll walk through that on screen.
Okay, terrific. Well, let's go ahead then and look at the platform.
Okay, doke. As I mentioned, this is one of Leading Home Care, Stephen and Jill's clients that came on board with us, I think just a little over a month ago, Big Hearts Home Care. As you can see, they have 476 applicants for 4 openings. So that's a nice problem to have. And you can see these first 2 openings or postings here, if you will, personal care assistant and homemaker companion aid. They're actuals. These bottom 2 here, these are test sites, and that's so we can play around a little bit. So they really don't have just 2 applicants for 1 opening. That's me. As you can see, I'm in charge of these hirings here. But my point earlier, when you've got 327 applicants for 1 opening, you really don't want to have to touch and, you know, go through each and every one of those, especially if they didn't take the time to do complete the application, do the assessments, etc. So you can just start with the number 1 ranked applicant and go down from there. But let's take a look at the test site. And before I do, I would just like to point out on the left side here, we and our clients tell us we have a very clean, user-friendly, intuitive website. So to start hiring, you simply click here. 3 clicks later, in 10 seconds or so, and your postings are online. All your jobs are here listed, and that's where we are right now. And I can filter these by any of the openings that I have, locations, or any kind of breakdown that I want. I can look by tags for part-times, full-times, etc. Any offers I've made, my analytics and reporting and full settings. So just kind of wanted to walk through that a little bit. And then under a test site, for example, we'll go post a job here, but You can have as many buckets as you like. So for example, Big Hearts has 3 buckets: new applicants, interview, and fully reviewed. Well, some clients of ours have 4 buckets. Some have 5. And what I mean by that is the way they walk them through the hiring flow. Now, this is the hiring flow and process. So these are the 3 buckets: new applicants, interview, and fully reviewed. And again, we customize this for each organization. So some of our clients have a bucket called new applicants, and then the flow of it is completely up to you. We'll customize that for you. But then they might have initial review, and then phone interview, and then face-to-face interview bucket, and then a fully reviewed bucket. But again, I just like to stress that we customize this for you. So maybe the best place to begin is at the beginning. So I just clicked the Start Hiring button, and I'm going to hire for the test site. And I am going to select my personal care assistant. Oh, by the way, too, just to refresh your openings. So for example, if you're using the free job boards, you don't want to have your postings buried. So maybe as a best practice, every other day, you have someone at the beginning of the day with a Google reminder. Just go in here, takes less than 5 seconds, and refresh your openings. And that puts them back at the top. But we're going to create new openings. You can do it for as many people as you're looking to hire. Each one has their own ID number, so you can track time to fill. And one of the things that you would provide us during training is, full breakdowns of the postings for each of the positions you hire for. So they would be all set. If you needed to change this and you had security rights, you could do so, and we can talk about that at some other time. But then I would just click Start Hiring, and then it will immediately be posted to our career page. This is the one we build and host for you on your website, as well as all the various free job boards: Indeed, Simply Hired, US Jobs, Glassdoor, Juju, Job Finder, CareerJet. And if you do have sponsored Indeed or Career Builder ads, etc., they'll be listed down here. And just like the little click here, you can click that on or off. So for any sponsored ones, you could do that. And that's all there is to it. And we had a test applicant for that already. And actually, I'm going to go back because I wanted to play with my original ones. There we are. For example, if we just created this job, I could simply click Share Job. So if I wanted to post this then to my social sites, I could post this to my Twitter account, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, or email it anywhere. So if I'm using Craigslist or any of the other providers, I could do that as well. So let's say, well, gosh, what does that look like on the applicant side? Well, this is the ad we just posted. And so maybe, there's a sign-on bonus or whatever. But again, this is all customizable. An applicant on any of the job boards, when they click Apply Now, would be directed here. And again, this is on your career page that we build and host for you. You can see, if someone would look, they could see the Vikus.net in your address bar. But if they've never been in here before, they would simply click Apply Now. But like me, I've actually been here before, so I will click Log In, and I'll put in my either username or email address. And then enter. My application's already been submitted. However, I'll just click Update. So this is what John completed for Big Hearts when John applied. This is their application, but again, we customize this for you. So like maybe, and this is what some of our clients do, they have a knockout question here. If you're getting too many unqualified applicants, and let's say you need someone to have transportation or a valid license for your state, or whatever the case might be, you might have a knockout question here. And again, no scrolling, but they can continue. Some of our clients then just have a thank you, and they encourage the applicant to continue. Big Hearts didn't. They just have their application here and so on. So let me go back here, and I'll show you what it looks like on your end. So we're back as the recruiter now, and I can take a look at the applicant. By the way, too, you can disqualify any applicant at any time. We customize these DQs with you and the time frame associated with them. Oh, and you can email an applicant anytime as well. We'll create as many templates as you'd like, and they'll be at your fingertips, and you can reach out to them and email them at any time. So let's look at the online application. So this is what we are looking at is John the applicant, and this is what it looks like on your end. So it pulls your application up that we've customized and preloaded for you. You can review it. Once you've gone through it and reviewed it, you would mark it complete or hold or disqualified. It's just up to you. I'm going to mark it complete. And then their process is they check for previous applications, and then they review both the Hartman and the job assessment. So if I look at this gentleman's Hartman, this is the overview. Again, green is good. I can look at the overall score here of 52, just a little shy of the middle. People skills are poor for this individual. Work judgment is good. Big picture is moderate, and you can see how they're color-coded. They exceed in the dealing with self-side stressors, and basic insights moderate, and so on. And we have different ways you can slice and look at this information. And again, I would review it, and when I'm comfortable, mark complete, on hold, or disqualify. It's like, no, this is not going to work with for the position we have to offer. And then their job skill assessment. And again, this is a combination of job skills and personality or temperament. So I can see as far as a home health aide, John's on the left side of the mean there. So I might have some serious doubts whether John could be a good home health aide. And then you can see as far as accuracy and attention to detail. So got some serious concerns about John here. And I can see patient care off the scale on the negative side. Temperament does not appear to be suited for this position, and counterproductive behavior as well. Not very adaptable. Teamwork, not good. Flexibility is even low. Employment history is also not good. And then negative affectivity is also low. Now, if I wanted to share this with a teammate of mine, I could put my note in here, and then all the people that are set up, and by the way, too, we have unlimited users. So everyone's got their own username, their own password, and security rights. I can identify that, and I could share a note, say, hey, I'm going to DQ this guy. Any second thoughts, or whatever the case might be. And go from there. So that's bucket one. Let's say that John makes it through, though, and then we want to conduct the interview. And again, this could be initial review. This could be phone interview. This could be face-to-face interview. We'll set the buckets up like you want them. But so however John answered the assessments, we can start to structure our interview guide. So for example, I'm going to start and click the items that John didn't do well on. You might want to include the moderates as well, but I think we've got enough to work here with the poors. So both the Hartman and the job assessment will identify the areas that were selected, and I can pick those out. And then page 2. Oops, there we are. And again, you could select them and just some other questions, and these are some of Big Heart's questions. Again, as I mentioned, you can have your own template and have questions ready for any particular position as an organization. It's like, hey, these are questions we want every applicant asked. Go to 3. And then when you're ready, you can view your interview guide. So these are the 15 questions that I just selected. And you can, again, and by the way, too, this is a paperless system. We save, keep all of the information and house it, but you can print anything, you can download it, you can save the file. But, again, you can do this right online. So if you want to do the interview on a tablet, on your phone, on a desktop, completely. If you wanted to print it out and do it remotely or whatever, you could certainly do so. But you can do it right online. And so you ask your question and then, rate the response. and then put a comment down. And then you can also share this information with any of your colleagues. So you can just walk through the entire interview process and, you know, why is working in home care important to you, or whatever the question might be. Why did you leave your last job and why? And so on. So you'll get, again, a consistent, measurable interview structure and guide that everyone in your organization is using. And then let's say that John makes it through that. I'll move them down to fully reviewed, and then at least with Big Hearts, we would customize this for you. They do reference check the abuse registry, and then verify their license and certification. At some point, let's say that John makes it through all this, I would click offer a job. And you will have a template set up, and you can modify this, but it's, you know, you would have your own wording here, but it's like, hey, congratulations. It gives us great pleasures to extend you this conditional offer of employment. You know, please visit our career site. And it's a link to their, and I don't want to offer John the job. I'm going to keep him as an applicant, but I just want to remind myself. Okay, Jane. Let me log in as Jane Doe. Can you see my screen still, Stephen?
Yes, we can.
Yep. Okay, good. Everybody, just a little peek behind the curtain. This isn't my native. Zoom is not the thing I normally use for this. So let me log in as Jane. And so we'll say we've offered Jane the position. And then Jane would click on that hyperlink that we sent them with the offer. And what Jane would be presented with, instead of the application, of which they could still access, and that's update information, but the default is complete and sign onboarding forms. So all the information that in this case Jane has told the system defaults and pulls in. Now, again, this is all customizable, and Big Hearts has said they wanted this in capitals in red above that. You know, make sure the name shown on your Social Security and card matches what's entered below, etc. So all your onboarding forms are uploaded. So again, everything is completed when that applicant shows up for the first day, including the W-4, the I-9, etc. And the way we do it is we capture the electronic signature. The applicant does have to click then at the bottom of these forms, I have read, understand, and agree to the information contained in the above document, and then they sign the form. So again, what that looks like, let me click Jane here. So we offered Jane the job, and you can see we've got 0% of our offer done. So at this, again, they have, Big Hearts has 3 buckets. You might have 4. You might call them all different things, although first day is typically the last bucket. You know, once you review and collaborate that the ID they presented is valid and so on. But they have their verification where they conduct the background check. They're in Illinois, so they do the WOTC, and then your training, tax forms, the agreements, direct deposit. They use ClearCare scheduling, so we actually produce a summary of the 10 to 12 fields that get keyed into ClearCare, and then supporting documents and uploads. So, for example, here's Jane's W-4, and you can see, you know, anything that's been electronically signed as I indicated, and all that information is there for you, and you know, you can download it and save it on your own hard drive. You can print it, but we capture and maintain this information as well.
We do have a question that popped up, Kevin, with regard to reference checks. The question from Tammy is, do you have a process to assist with reference checks?
Yeah, it's a great question. In fact, we actually do have a new release coming. I believe it's scheduled for the first quarter of next year, so somewhere between January and March of 2018. But it's going to be emailing those references that they provide with, you know, some type of a template that you help us create, and reach out to them and ask for a response. So yeah, we will have that. We do not right now. So I'll leave it at that.
Now we do have the capability to integrate with like criminal background checks and drug screens and those kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have partners that we're integrated with already, and we're happy to share those with you. But yeah, and whoever you're currently working with, if we're not integrated with them, we can certainly upload the forms, the releases, and make it very easy to continue working with them. And if they'd like, we can also talk to them about integrating.
Okay.
Any other questions while we pause here?
No, I think that's what we have on the Q&A right now. If anybody else has a question, go ahead and type it into the Q&A box there at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, Doc. And again, at any time, we could disqualify this individual. You have different DQs for the onboarding portion than you did for the hiring flow and process. And whenever things have been completed, they show up, you could actually hire them. And then that information is maintained then as in their employment record. As I mentioned, we have full reporting. So again, very robust reporting under classic reports, as well as the analytics and compliance. So let's take a look at the, oops, this is a test site. So let me switch this to the real site. There we are. So Big Hearts has had, and this is one office, 872 applicants in the last 30 days. So let's say, for example, where'd they come from? Well, 94% came from Indeed.com, and that's the free Indeed posting. They allow for a no source. We would certainly recommend not offering that as a selection, but you can see that 1.8% are there, 0.8%, the other dreaded ZipRecruiter, 0.7%. So I don't know what they're paying for ZipRecruiter, but they might want to, reevaluate that, and they probably are. And then LinkedIn, 0.7%. Let me go back here. So that's nice to know where your applicants are coming from. But so they've had 5 hires in the last 30 days. Well, let's see where the hires are coming from. Okay, it's a little different pie here then. So LinkedIn, 40%. I've never seen that before. That's interesting. Indeed.com, only 20%. The employer referral there, 20%, and then the dreaded other, 20%. So it gives you a little bit different picture there. And again, you can do that for any of them. And so if I wanted to see where my offers are coming from, so I offered 12 people the job, I could give the breakdown and see, where they were coming from and so on. Let me go back to analytics. We also track your compliance, so you can see where they just started here. Then I can see, okay, they're at 44% compliant. So let's see what they're not doing. And typically it's things that the organization has decided that, you know what, we don't need to check that off. We're good with that. So probably we should modify the site for them. But let's see, oops, John Doe. Well, it looks like my non-compliance are test subjects. So you can see here that the offer portion, they didn't conduct the background check, and they didn't do the first day hiring. So that gives me the insight there. And then again, as far as full reports, time to fill, any other report that you're looking for, it's available right here. If there's a report that you need that we're not offering, just ask. If you need it, I'm sure someone else does as well. We'll be happy to add it. That, in a whirlwind 35 minutes or so, is a very high-level overview of the Vikus hiring platform. Be happy to take any questions now or take another look at anything that we've reviewed and go from there.
Sounds good. Well, thanks so much, Kevin. And if you have questions for Kevin, go ahead and type them into the Q&A box right now. We'll be sure and get that. And if you want a specific one-on-one demonstration for you and the members of your team so that you can talk about how the system can be customized for your particular recruiting, selection, and onboarding process, we'll set that up and Kevin will schedule a time to do the one-on-one with you.
Yeah, happy to. Very simple pricing too, very straightforward, unlimited users, unlimited postings. It's simply a per dollar annual rate per employee, the size of your organization. And, and hopefully you'll want to speak to our client base, and they'll tell you that we significantly increased their applicant pool, but not only that, help them just immediately identify the more qualified applicants, and through the use of the assessments, and certainly this is why you probably started your relationship with Leading Home Care, Stephen and Jill as well, help reduce the turnover, the churn rate. Our clients have a much lower 90-day new hire turnover rate than when they came on board and became clients, and the industry. With the use of those assessments, you're really able to find, better hires to begin with. And of course, that's where you get the best care as well.
We have another question popped up in the Q&A box. Kevin, the question is, do you require a contract agreement? And if so, how long?
Yeah, our standard contract is 3 years. However, we'll certainly, we will, for Stephen's clients, we'll do a 1-year agreement. We typically don't do that because the first year it's really, it's comprised of that first 90-day window of getting you trained, set up, everything ironed out and operating smoothly. So, as a company, it's the second and third year where, we start to make our money. But no, we'll actually do a 1-year agreement rather than the 3. Although I don't think any of the clients that have come on board so far, Stephen and Jill, have opted for that. They've all signed 3-year agreement. Okay,
good. And we've had a number of our clients come on just in the last 30 days or so. It's been really interesting to see which companies have taken the previews and have decided to move forward with it.
Yeah, and as you can see, the success that they're having.
Yes, yes. Well, we're really amazed with this automation process, and that's the reason that we're encouraging our users and members to take a look at it, and if it's a good fit, to go ahead and move into the Vikus platform, and those who have done so seem to be very pleased with their decision so far.
Yeah, another point that I didn't make is we have, as for each client, we assign 2 dedicated client success managers. And when you talk to our clients, that's besides a terrific product and service, they'll just rave about the support. You don't have to speak to your dedicated people, but they're the people that do your training and create your site and know your site intimately. But you can immediately just do a live chat and in seconds get the support you need. Call in, also email, but live chat or call in are certainly the most popular. And we also have full user guides online. So if you're a DIY and you don't want help, or you just want to do it yourself and learn it, you can click there and just do a search, and all your information will be right up. So, how to make an offer, or, how do I DQ someone, or whatever the case might be.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we've covered, I think, all of the questions that we have at this point. So I want to thank everyone for being with us today. And as we said, if you want to schedule a one-on-one demo with Kevin and get into the details of how you can customize Vikus for your company, why, just let us know and we'll pass that on and put the 2 of you together and get it scheduled. Thanks so much, Kevin. Good to see you. Wish everybody a happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Hanukkah, all of the holidays we have at this time of the year. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone in the new year. Thanks
or
so
even
much.
Maybe tomorrow at your webinar, Stephen. I wanted to mention that Stephen's Conquering the Crisis webinar with his new book is a joint venture tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and hopefully you've received an invitation and registered for that. And if you haven't, it's not too late.
Well, thanks for that little plug. We're looking forward to doing that with Martha Abercrombie from Vikus tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Correct.
All righty. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being with us, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye now.